Hey guys, in this video, I want to share with you 5 core principles, what I call them first principles of real estate investing that I've come up with. And these are just principles that I live by and that have worked for me. Now, before I dive into those, I just wanted to announce in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be hosting a 2-day mastermind here at my apartment in London. This will be the third one that I've hosted. I'll overlay some clips of previous ones we've done, but it's a super intense 2 days. We're going to be covering a lot of the topics I'm going to be sharing throughout the rest of this video. I can only fit 8 people around my table. Like I say, it's in my home here. I literally host it around the table I'm sat at now. It's not just me, it's other close friends of mine that come as guest speakers, people like my friend Alfred Jaddy, Tej, guys that have raised millions and millions of capital from private investors, 1 or 2 guys that have got 6-figure sourcing businesses. We go out for a beautiful dinner in the evening in Mayfair, and it's just a really amazing experience. We should have some spots still available as of recording, so there'll be a link in the description to go find out more. And if you fill out an application, of course, you want to make sure you're a good fit, you're going to get value out of it, and it makes sense for you. We're not in the business of selling people onto events that aren't going to be extracting the right amount of value for the price. It is a paid event, but I can assure you it will be one of the highest return on investment real estate decisions you make. So the first principle I want to discuss is that real estate is a long-term game. And a lot of people get into property wanting to get results quick, and it is possible to get results quick. If you've got experience in business or in sales and you've got some of the character traits that are required to execute well and get things done, trust me, we've got students. And in fact, one of the previous students, Jamie, who's going to be speaking at the 2-day mastermind to share his experience. I mean, they're 12 months into their real estate journey. They've started a project management and maintenance business. They're going to do £3 million in revenue this year. So that's in the first 18 months, which is crazy. Because in terms of building wealth, you need to be thinking in years and decades, not weeks and months. And if anything, you need to accept the fact that it's very difficult to achieve anything meaningful in less than 12 months. When you're starting out, especially if it's your first step in business, in entrepreneurship, it's going to be hard. And it's meant to be hard. The harder something is, the better. I've spoken about this before, but we grow up in life thinking hard is bad, we should avoid hard, and when things get hard, we should look for alternatives. The beautiful thing about doing hard things is that that's why successful people are successful. It's because they are the exceptional few, exceptional meaning they are the exception to the average, to the majority, that has actually done the work, embraced the hard things and got the results. And the harder something is, the more rewarding the result, which is why success tastes so sweet. Success wouldn't taste so sweet if it was easy. And so it is going to be hard. Accept the fact that hard is good, and it's hard until it isn't, because the more you do of something, the better you get. Compound effects kick in, you get momentum, you develop skills, you get better, and before you know it, it becomes effortless. But it takes a while to get that. And so when you come up with your plan, you need to be thinking, what am I going to be able to achieve over the next 10, 15, 20 years? That's where real wealth is made. And if you look at the wealth of the most successful, wealthiest people in the world, people like Bezos, people like Musk, people like Warren Buffett, and you look at their wealth over time, which typically is just reflection of the share price of their major company over time. Like the Amazon share price, of course, is very reflective of Bezos's wealth. Same with Tesla and Elon, Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett. It, for a long time, starts off very, very slow, but then there's an inflection point and it compounds massively. I was just finishing Elon's biography by Walter Isaacson, which is an incredible book and demonstrates like really what character traits are required. And when I say like it's meant to be hard, when you see the hardships that Elon's been through and the intensity and the pressure and what he's had to navigate, it puts it in perspective. But one thing with Elon is SpaceX. I mean, they're point now with SpaceX, they're obviously starting to get pretty good momentum. They're sending a lot of rockets up. They've proven their ability to launch and land rockets. But people forget that SpaceX has been around for 20 years. It's taken them 20 years just to get to the point where they've got rockets where they can consistently shoot them up into orbit and then land them again, let alone getting to Mars. And if you look at a recent talk Elon did, which I'll link below, to his SpaceX team about the vision for SpaceX, you can see the time horizons that he's thinking in. He's still thinking in 20, 40, 50-year time horizons, which is crazy. And it's the same with Bezos. It's the same with Warren Buffett. If you look at Jeff Bezos's Amazon letters to shareholders I've talked about before, and you go back all the way to 1997, you can see that he was thinking 10, 20 years into the future. He didn't care about the next 12, 24, 36 months. He just thought, how can we build the best company in the world? And if it takes us 20 years to do that, it will take us 20 years. And I think it was 20 years until they became profitable, because they were just burning through cash and just wanted to play the long-term game. The second core principle that I wanted to share, and I've talked about this in a couple of videos now, is that you need a cash flow business. If you are going to be investing and developing real estate, that is the long-term play. It's very capital intensive. It's what's going to build you wealth, and it's going to compound over years and decades. But for month to month, day to day, I believe everyone should set up a cash flow business, something which produces some consistent monthly cash flow, not passive income from rental income, because we've talked about in a previous video, rental income is great and passive income is incredibly valuable, but it also takes much longer and it's much harder to obtain. If you want to be getting to 10, 25, 50, 100,000 pounds a month revenue or profit in business, typically the most efficient route to do that is through a business, either through selling a service or selling a product. And I've talked about in other videos what those services or businesses are. But yeah, core principle number 2 is build a cash flow business. Point number 3 is you need to build a brand. The bigger your personal brand, the more opportunity you're going to attract. And your personal brand is just your reputation on steroids. It just means there's more people that know, like, and trust you. Now, I know a lot of people that are very successful without a personal brand in property that are just really good at working their personal network and building connections. But the way to throw fuel on the fire is to create content by documenting your journey, sharing your lessons, creating content that is valuable and informative and maybe educational or entertaining to your desired audience, whether that's potential investors, whether that's customers you want to recruit for your business, whatever it is. The bigger your personal brand, the more opportunity you're going to attract. I promise you it is completely linear in terms of the correlation. And I'm at a point now where, although I don't have a huge brand at all, I like to think I've got a great relationship, a good engagement from my audience, where we've raised millions of pounds from social media. I have people that want to work for us. When we put up job adverts, we attract good talent. They're invested in our mission because they know who we are, they know what we do, they like our values, and they're aligned with our brand. And so building a personal brand might seem scary for some, and I know it comes with a lot of hesitations, a lot of uncertainties, a lot of questions, a lot of fear. And all of that can be worked through, but I could speak for hours on this topic. The thing you just need to do is get comfortable being uncomfortable, and everything you want is on the other side of fear. If you want help building your brand, it's one of the things going to be discussing on this 2-day mastermind. It's something we've helped a lot of students do and help them overcome that fears, because there are just certain perspective shifts and mindset shifts, and sometimes there's limiting beliefs and fears. And when we kind of dive deep into the individual psychology and figure out what is it that's holding them back, once we figure that out, we can create that new belief system or that new frame to think about creating content and building a brand. But typically, as a lot of people think, well, who am I to share? I'm still early on in my journey. There's a bit of imposter syndrome. So for every new thing that you learn, if you just share that with your audience, like, hey, here's what I learned today about real estate, or here's what I learned today at this real estate project I viewed that my friend is doing, it's valuable for the masses, and it's more relatable because you are early on in your career. For those that haven't even started yet, they're going to relate far more to you than maybe to someone like myself or other people you see on social media that are many years into their journey. So creating content is key. A fear of judgment is a big one, but when you get clear on your goals and you get really, really clear on your goals, because a lot of people think they know what they want, but they really don't have clarity. And that is definitely something that's not spoken about enough, but you need real clarity on your goals. When do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? And be specific. And when you get clear on what you want and also why you want it, and you also think about how you're going to feel if you don't achieve that, which really is not a nice thought. Everyone's got this almost delusion that they are going to achieve the things they want to achieve eventually, but the reality is a lot of people aren't doing the work that reflects their goals. And when you start to think about, okay, how will I feel? What will I feel like if I don't actually achieve these goals and I'm still in the same place now than I am 5-10 years from now? And then you think about these people that you're afraid of judgment from, and typically when people are afraid of judgment, they're afraid of judgment from 1, 2, or 3 people. And it could be family, it could be friends, it could be people they grew up with, whatever. When you realize that fear of judgment from those people is what's going to stop you from achieving your goal, and it might mean you're going to end up in the same place you are now 5-10 years, the question you have to ask yourself is, are you prepared to give those people that power over you? And for a lot of people, the answer is no. So when you think, am I going to let these people take me hostage emotionally and stop me achieving these goals? The answer is no. You work past it. And when you start to put content out there and you get a lot of positive feedback and you realize the impact that you can make, it's a very rewarding feeling. And you know what I've always said, for me, if to impact 50 new people, if that means there's going to be 5 people that say not nice things or get a little bit triggered or get emotionally charged by things that I say and want to write negative comments, I mean, that's just a reflection of them and their insecurities. It doesn't bother me. I'm good. Like I'm happy. I've got everything I could possibly want. The life, the friends, the businesses, the cars, the house. I'm happy. If people want to get upset about that, that's fine. But in order to impact 50 new people, it means there's going to be 5-10 people that are upset. That's a price I'm prepared to pay. So there's a lot of perspective shifts that need to happen in order to get comfortable personal branding. Number 4, again, something I speak about a lot, is that real estate is a finance business. If you look at the guys playing the game at the very top, these are finance companies, and all they're doing is looking at financial models, which are spreadsheets. They're looking at income statements, they're looking at balance sheets, they're looking at projections and cash flow forecasts, because they're finance companies. And the people that work in these companies, what did they study at university? Typically, they studied finance. So when I say about finance is, you can get good at finding deals, you can get good at building a team, but until you really understand the finance side of things, which is 1, how to structure finance within deals, and then 2, how to actually raise this finance for the deals, that's when you can really unlock scale. And those that I've spent time around that are really building big real estate businesses, that's the one thing they figured out, is they can raise capital. Because for a lot of us, it's the biggest bottleneck that's constraining our growth, because we have good deal flow, you might have a good team, but if I gave you £500,000 tomorrow, would you go and do more real estate deals? Of course. And so if you can unlock that bottleneck, great. But you can't raise a capital until you know how to structure the capital. There's a video I'm going to do soon on how to actually structure the money, the different ways of financing deals. But figure out the finance side, understand debt, equity, understand analyzing risk, etc., and pricing risk, those different things. And it will give you an edge over others that are less savvy to the finance side of the business. And then number 5, this is one of my favorite points, and again, something I think that's not spoken about enough, is that if you can fix your mindset and psychology, the tactics will take care of itself, which I think is a fundamental problem of real estate education. Is a lot of people are too caught up in the tactics and the strategies and the methods. How do I do this? How do I do that? Wanting, step-by-step clear action plans, when 90% of the time, if not higher, if it's a psychology and mindset issue that are stopping people from moving forward. The best example I use all the time is, like, I know people, I've said this before, go on a crash course on real estate and go and have life-changing results. I know other people have been on the exact same crash course, got the exact same information, and complained that it was a waste of time and they didn't learn anything, and they've not achieved anything since. The difference was mindset. The difference is some people had the right character traits, the right belief systems, the right work ethic to go out and do the work. And so there's a few kind of mental models I talk about, or character traits as well, that are key when it comes to winning in real estate. One I talk about a lot is, you're only as good as your ability to solve problems. The better you are at solving problems, the more you're going to succeed in real estate, because real estate is just like one problem after another. You've got to solve problems. So you've got to be very solution focused. Are you someone that comes across problems and gets crippled by these problems and just retreats? Or are you someone that comes across a problem and immediately thinks, right, what are the 3 solutions, the 3 possible solutions to this problem? And which of those 3 solutions is the one we're going to move forward with? You also got to be resourceful, because you're never going to have enough resources. And so some people might complain that, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the experience, I don't have the track record. There's some people that just thinks, you know what, fuck what I don't have. The one thing I do have is resourcefulness. And so whatever I need to find, I will find it one way or another. And again, just self-belief, going out, like understanding that in order to get unreasonable results, you need to be unreasonable with your actions. Some people go out and view 50 properties and secure deals. Other people go and view 5 properties and give up and think, you know what, this game isn't for me, it's too hard. So you've got to be unreasonable. You've got to be unreasonable with what you expect from people. You've got to be unreasonable with what you expect for yourself and your standards. And the more unreasonable you are, the more unreasonable results that you want. So some people, they say to me, I want to be realistic with my goals. It's like, well, whatever's realistic is completely down to you and your interpretation. Because like what's unrealistic for you, maybe making like £1 million a year. There's people that before the clock hit 1 a.m. this morning already made £1 million in their business. There are companies that make $100 million, £100 million a day. Companies like Salesforce. And so you got to think bigger. You understand that there's a bigger game to be playing. Once you see and get exposed to that bigger game and you realize, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. You have the resourcefulness, you have the ability to solve problems, you have the ability to build the right team around you, you have the work ethic and the desire to get unreasonable with your actions and put in the work and do the hours, it's success becomes inevitable. So sort your mindset and psychology, and the rest will figure itself out. And if you're wise enough, because the first thing is you've got to actually be able to look at yourself in the mirror and think, okay, there is a mindset issue here. I'm not thinking the right way. I'm not in the right environments, whatever it is. The one thing you need to be doing is getting in the room with the right people, getting in the room with people that do have the mindset and psychology, because you then see the patterns in the way they think, the way they talk, the way they behave. And you can then begin to enter a new paradigm because your belief systems, your environment, they dictate your worldview, and your worldview is just the reality and the paradigm that you exist in. So pay whatever price you can to get in the rooms with right people. And like, I don't want to, this isn't me like selling you guys on this 2-day event I'm hosting. Like, I rarely host them. I do it because I enjoy doing it. Of course, it makes a bit of money, whatever, but there are better ways for me to make money. I do it on a weekend, so it doesn't take time out of my work week. But when you go around the room at the start of the day, on day one, and we ask people, what is it you want to get out of, these 2 days? Or what is it you came here for? What is it you came here to learn? And people say, I wanted to get better at raising capital. I want to get better at finding deals. I want to get more clear on my strategy, whatever it is. And then you get to the end of the second day, and I ask everyone, okay, so what were your biggest takeaways? Like, what was the one thing that you took away from this that's going to help you the most? And like consistently every single time I've done this, and even on the Dubai trips we've done as well, everyone says it's the new way of thinking. It's the mindset shifts. It's the one thing that either I said or somebody said that just clicked in their head, that just allowed them to think in a whole different way, or just shifted some limiting beliefs that they had. And once that mindset and psychology issue is solved, the tactics figure themselves out. Like, you give me someone with enough drive and determination and the right belief systems and the right mindset, they can figure out the property game, even without education, even without courses or workshops or seminars, whatever it is. They're my 5 core principles that if I could teach my 18-year-old self is just focus on these 5 things, that's what I'd be doing. Hopefully that was valuable, guys. Like I say, there'll be a link below in the description for those that want to apply. Make sure you do it quick because, like I say, I can only for 8 people. I think we've got 70 people on the wait list already, and not everyone's going to be a good fit, of course. Not everyone's going to be able to make the dates. So if you want to find out more, click the link, fill out an application, and we'll be in touch, and I'll hopefully speak to you on a Zoom call. So like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.